expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix, this is Brother Mike. I'm back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Welcome to Filthy Fridays on Hardcore. Today's Bible study, Pornography, a Demon's Paradise. Normally I ask you to call somebody and tell them the radio program's on, but on Filthy Fridays we like to keep this amongst the family. Please don't call anybody and tell them about the radio program today. This one's a bit too much. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the House of Healing. We are on 11th Street. We're just south of Indian School Road and west of the 51 freeway in the heart of Maricopa County in downtown Phoenix. If you go to the website, you'll see all of our services there. All of our ministry services that we provide are all on the website. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have healing, teaching, preaching, and deliverance at every service. When you go to the website, you can sign up for our Facebook page. We now have 4 teaching channels on YouTube, and you can sign up for next month's seminar. By the way, that's on sexual addictions. And you can also hit the PayPal button again and send us another donation. Thank you for doing that. May God bless you. Been on the radio 14 years. Never missed a radio payment. Never even been late on one. Thanks to you. Thank you for your help. All the radio programs are always available on soundcloud.com/hardcore-Christianity. Pornography, a Demon's Paradise. Check this out. Did you see this article that came out in the paper last week? Do you remember the Elizabeth Smart case in Utah, the kidnapping? You probably do. This article came out in the paper last week. It says, quote, "For the first time, Elizabeth Smart has revealed the role of pornography in her kidnapping. In June 2002, Smart was kidnapped at knife point, dragged into the woods, and told she was the bride of Brian David Mitchell. He bound the 14-year-old girl's feet to the bed and raped her multiple times a day for the next 9 months. Smart says things got worse after he exposed her to pornography. Quote, I remember him. He pulled out this magazine full of hardcore pornography. I remember he would just sit and look at it and stare at it," she says in a new interview with the anti-porn group Fight the New Drug. Quote, "When he was done, he would look at me and he'd be like, 'Now we're going to do this.' It just led to him raping me even more than he already did, which was a lot," she says. In court proceedings, she testified to being assaulted 3 to 4 times a day. Looking at pornography wasn't enough for him. Having sex with his wife after he looked at pornography, it wasn't enough for him. And then it led to him going out and kidnapping me, she says in a new video. He just always wanted more. Quote, "I can't say that he would not have gone out and kidnapped me had he not looked at pornography. All I know is that pornography made my life a living hell." Smart says, following her mother's advice, she determined to live a happy life. She's now married with a daughter of her own, a trained harpist, and describes herself as an advocate against pornography. I witnessed firsthand how damaging pornography is, she said, now age 28. Mitchell, who tried to kidnap 2 other girls, including Elizabeth's cousin, during her captivity, has since been sentenced to life in prison without parole. He was beaten by another inmate severely in 2013. He is only one of many criminals, including numerous serial killers, whose actions have been fueled in some way by pornography. What they're talking about there is, do you happen to remember the guy in Chicago or Cleveland that had kidnapped those girls and left them in his basement? They were hostages for years. Do you remember that guy? He hung himself in prison. His name was Ariel Castro. He was addicted to porn. Of course, you remember in the 1970s, the legendary Ted Bundy. That guy was an incredible serial killer, extremely bright, very tough to catch. He escaped jail twice. He was a porn addict. And that was one of the major areas he discussed when they interviewed him before he was executed. What's going on here with pornography, and what's the story on this thing? This sin is probably the most powerful sin Satan ever came up with, because pornography serves the devil on multiple levels. Number one, it's infested the church and Christianity here in America. Number two, it's infested the entire world. Sinners around the entire globe literally can get pornography now. And what's amazing about it is, years ago, you had to go to a special store to get porn. You had to go into a porno bookstore. In fact, years ago, when I was living in sin, I went to the Owl bookstore down on Grand back in the early 80s or mid 80s. You had to go to a special store to go get pornography. Now, you can get XXX porn, including kiddie porn, S&M porn, all kinds of pedophilia porn. I mean, you name it, and you can get it with a couple of clicks of a mouse on your laptop, on your handheld device. It's literally amazing how the devil has taken this thing to new heights. But what's extremely dangerous about it, believe it or not, is the spiritual ramifications of it. I've been a counselor for 34 years. I couldn't tell you how many people have come in to see me for counseling who have had issues with pornography. I couldn't even tell you. So many of them, Christians, ministers, pastors, preachers, TV preachers. Pornography is like a plague. It's incredibly dangerous. And what's so dangerous about it is it allows the person, it opens the door to the dark side, and it allows unclean spirits, demons that specialize in lust and sexual addictions, to enter the person's body. And once those spirits get into their body, they start to become hooked on it. It starts to become a mental and physical obsession. These spirits are able to push the person to do things that they would not normally do. You won't. This will sound kind of strange to you, but believe it or not, sex addicts are as miserable or more miserable than hardcore drug addicts and hardcore alcoholics. It's a horrible addiction. It's a horrible disease. It's a spiritual disease. It's a spiritual disease. These spirits from Satan, lust spirits, the same ones King Solomon had, the same ones Samson had, the same ones King David had. These lust spirits, the same ones Hugh Hefner has. These spirits push people to do things they do not want to do. And in this particular case in Utah, it led to criminal behavior. Most pornography does not lead to criminal behavior. It's a silent killer, a private killer at home. Many people who have issues with pornography, particularly ministers and pastors, nobody else knows about it. It's all kept quiet. It's kept secret. And the demons help the person keep it quiet and secret until the appropriate time when they let it out to humiliate and degrade and embarrass the person. Pornography fuels other sexual behaviors. Most people, statistically, who go to prostitutes are also porn users. Most rapists, statistically, are also porn users. Porn is that silent, deadly killer that just constantly lurks behind so much other sin in our society. And these spirits are powerful because they start to take over the mind, and the person starts to develop a sexual mental obsession. We'll be going over these things and many other things at the seminar this month on ministering to sex addicts. But these spirits cause the person to be unable to stop thinking about sex. And it causes chronic masturbation. Many sex addicts have masturbated so much they've damaged their genitals. Porn addicts frequently masturbate 5 to 10 times a day. And no normal human being needs 5 to 10 orgasms a day. That's not a human issue. This is a spiritual issue. And people don't understand, who are not on pornography, how powerful these spirits are and how uncontrollable the behaviors can become. I've had people literally tell me while they were watching pornography, they felt entities enter their bodies. This is very common for people who are opening their souls and their bodies to this kind of horrible sin. It's literally swept the globe. It's literally all over America, and it's infiltrated the church at a hideous level. Barna did a survey a couple of years ago. 56% of the pastors in the survey had problems with pornography. I thought the survey was pretty good, actually. I would have said it was in the 70% area. But whatever it is, it's extremely bad and it's extremely dangerous. This guy raped this girl 4 times, Elizabeth Spart, a day. Nobody needs sex 4 times a day. Plus, he had sex with his wife. These demons can cause you to do things you don't want to do. If you have an unclean spirit and you're out of control, you're eligible for free counseling services at the House of Healing. The Holy Spirit is able to heal you and deliver you. I've seen it with my own eyes. 602-636-5800. 636-5800. Pornography will eventually completely destroy you. You will lose everything. Your home, your money, your wife, your family. Come get help. Come get help now.
The views expressed on the preceding program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program has been sponsored by Michael W. Smith.